Happy Sunday, everybody. Heather Coleman here, intuitive medium, Reiki and energy work practitioner, spiritual guidance counselor. As always, we're going to dive right in. We're going to see what Spirit has for us this week. And as always, if you want to work with me in a more in-depth capacity, please visit my website, heatherlcoleman.com. We're going to start with a card from our Money and the Law of Attraction deck by Esther and Jerry Hicks. And the card that we have, there's two coming out actually, we have My Life is as Good as I Allow It to Be. This is really good sometimes, this type of card, if we unwittingly have gotten into kind of a victim mindset. Now, sometimes we've got to spend a little time working through those feelings, right? But we don't want to get stuck in that everything happens to me, I'm powerless, rote lash and a shit, because it's not true. So, my life is as good as I allow it to be. Many people focus upon unwanted things, here's the key, with no deliberate attention to the emotional guidance within them, and that's capitalized, emotional guidance. And then they try to compensate for their lackful thinking with physical action. And because of the misalignment of energy, they do not get results from their action. So then they try harder by offering more action, but still things don't improve. Like the air you breathe, abundance in all things is available to you. Your life will simply be as good as you allow it to be. So sometimes what we need to do is let go of all the trying and rather focus on alignment. So let's focus less on the unwanted. And let's also see what this next card has. I think this might give us some more solutions, and it will. This card says, my attention to it invites the essence of it. Anything you are giving your attention to is an invitation to the essence of it. Saying, I want money, but it will not come, is the same as saying, come to me, absence of money, which I do not want. When you are thinking of money in the way that will make it come to you, you always feel good. When you are thinking of money in the way that keeps it from coming to you, you always feel bad. That is how you know the difference. So a lot of this has to do with focus on what's working, less attention on what's not working. And let's see what the other cards are going to have to tell us today. Next card is going to be from our Angels and Oracles deck by Radleigh Valentine and Dougal Fraser. This is going to talk a lot about what we might do to pivot a little bit. In fact, I think we might get a jumper here. No jumper yet. The jumper, I lied. We're going to look at the jumper first. Everything's okay. Reassurance, support. Find a way to calm your nervous system. A lot of times when we get scared or uncertain, our system keeps spinning in that energy. Your job is to get out of that energy into the everything's fine. Because again, that's what sets you into a receptive place where money flows to you. People, the right people flow to you. Interesting. We've also got Archangel Michael. This makes perfect sense. Call on Guardian Angel Michael to help you feel safe and that everything is okay. And this isn't so that you blame yourself. It's just to help us remember, like, look, we've got to get into a calm place. It doesn't mean you won't have negative thoughts. It doesn't mean you won't have anxiety. It's a matter of how much attention do you put into that. Maybe you give a brief little bit to acknowledge your fears, and then you focus on what's working in your life. Focusing on what's working. We have that message coming through again. Let's jump over to our Enchanted Map Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. This deck this week is going to take the place of tarot for us. It's structured and rich enough that I feel it will do that for us this week. So the first card we have coming out is number 33. Those of you that like to pay attention to numbers to track this week, 33. Peaks of Joy. Peaks of Joy. I encourage you to look into the image of that card. So letting yourself feel joy. Sometimes we stop ourselves from feeling joy. Don't do that. Let yourself be in the moment when you're feeling joy. Sometimes we don't feel it's safe to express strong emotions. Sometimes that goes back to childhood. If you had a parent that was always telling you to quiet down, for example. Sometimes we've just got to reprogram ourselves to feel what we're feeling, to express what we're feeling. I want to talk to you a bit about what's in the guidebook for Peaks of Joy. And this is Harvey, by the way. Meow. I don't know if you heard him go meow. Harveys. So, joy is yours today. No matter what your inquiry, you will be happy with the results. I love this. You're coming closer to a sense of achievement, and you've worked hard for it. So sometimes what we don't realize is that what we really seek is on the horizon. We just have to be patient. You're surrounded by true companions, events that are synchronistically arranged to bring you to the next level of your life, especially if you're clear about your goals. Sometimes we just have to let go of the timing and the how your manifestations come along. So we've got a big energy of that, of having faith this week. Life is exhilarating. Find your hope, finding your calm. That keeps coming up again. Let's take a little bit of a look in the reversal meaning. Are you measuring success by your material achievements? We had this message last week of stop measuring success only by money, because that's actually a recipe for misery. So we have peaks of joy and leaning into the joy in your life, because there's so much of it. No one really on their deathbed is like, I should have made more money. I should have spent more time working. Right, Harvey? Harvey here. So we're going to grab another card, 2 more cards from this deck actually, and I don't know exactly, ooh, this is the card. Oh, and a jumper. Okay, those are the 2 additional cards. We don't have to go hunting. I'm going to put the rest of them back here. So we're going to look at one of these. We're going to look at solitude. Some solitude is needed. There's a difference between solitude and self-isolation. There's a difference between solitude and self-isolation. We're going to come back to that card in a moment, but before we do, we're going to have an angel therapy card. It's like I want to jump all over this deck. I feel like a lot of these cards would have excellent messages, but I'm just going to choose 2 in terms of being practical for today. But I feel like this deck will be coming up again in the future. For today, let's look at vegetarian, vegan. And so some of you might be doing what I'm doing, which is gradually becoming more and more vegetarian. Eventually I might be vegan one day. Just know that if you're trying to make this or any other dietary change, small steps are the way. And I've personally realized when, like, I've had friends come over who say, wow, I don't know nearly as much about vegetarian cooking as you do. It makes me realize, you know what, I have made a lot of progress, even though I still eat chicken here and there. Using me as an example, I've eliminated beef and pork. Pork wasn't hard. Beef, I had to gradually release that. Less and less chicken, less and less any form of meat. Do I still eat eggs? Yeah, that may be completely gone one day. But it's step by step, that's the point. So any diet change you're working on, improving, incremental steps, little bit adds up to a lot. Same thing if you're changing your house around. I've been doing that. I'll talk to you a little bit about that too. I had like several rooms that need to be reorganized, and I didn't have the ability when I first started to put aside an entire week, maybe here and there most of a day, maybe one day. And I felt like, God, this is never getting done. But what I did was I took an hour here, I took 2 hours there, and a couple times a week for months got it done. And the house is changing gradually a lot, and I start to see that. I'm like, oh wow, I'm getting a lot done. So same thing with your diet. Same thing if maybe you're trying to reorganize your home, or you're trying to save up money for something. A little bit at a time, guys, a little bit at a time. Now let's look at the next card from the angel therapy. This is good. We talked earlier about getting to a place of calm, not by spiritual bypassing, but by listening to your negative thoughts. And if you have a thought that's unkind, we want to cancel, clear, delete. What we want to do is, we have negative thoughts, is ask the angels to cancel the effects of negative thinking. Sometimes we've got to just expunge that shit out, kind of like a brainwash. You know what I mean? We just don't want to stay stuck in it. So here's that message again, that we don't want to stay stuck in negativity or anxiety. Let it bubble up. Try to release it in a healthy way. And this is a way to do it. If you have some negative thoughts, let them rip and say, angels, can you please cancel, clear, delete those negative thoughts. If you're worried about letting in the negativity bubble up, because that's our shadow side, we have to work through it. So we've got a lot coming out these last few weeks about how we can work through the negativity. We all have some negativity, and those that deny it, it tends to fester. So we don't want to do that. We want to work through it. Setting that card aside, let's come back to solitude. I want to look at the guidebook, and here is the image on the solitude card. Here it is. So it looks like it's card number 13 in here. I am comfortable in my own skin as I detach to replenish my soul. Wow, I love that one. Meditation is required when you receive the solitude card as a sign. And I want to say that I just spoke to you guys about a brain rinse. Meditation is a good way to process negative energy. Process it. It says empty your mind of superfluous thoughts, unnecessary thoughts. You might have to let those bubble up a little bit first. Allow stillness to flow through your whole being. So find a way to meditate. And if you can't do very easily still meditation, take a walking meditation. Take a yoga class. Meditation can take many forms. Sitting or lying still is a great way to meditate, but if that doesn't work for you, maybe you're doing needlepoint and you're listening to affirmations. That's one way. Maybe you're doing something in your garden, you're listening to affirmations. Maybe you're just taking a walk with a technology cleanse. You're like, I'm going to stay off my phone for 20 minutes or an hour or whatever that might be. So it's all about finding solitude to rinse our brain. Also, watch what you consume first thing in the morning. I'm trying to work on this as well. Sometimes early, right before I get up, I look at my phone. Maybe have something you can look at first thing in the morning affirmations, because sometimes we might have a stronger reaction to something negative, like a headline or something, if it's the first thing we see getting up. And final card, we have Ride the Wave. I love the color on this. And I want to read you guys what's in the guidebook. I'm going to read you the reversal meaning first. And before I do, I want to point out that dolphins are often thought of as very playful and very intelligent, very interactive with people. Oh, and you know what's also interesting? Comes right after solitude. I don't keep those cards in order, so it's very interesting that 13 and 14 came up. The reverse meaning is we could possibly be mistaking a rogue wave for a fun ride. We can only coast so long before we hit the shoreline. You're meant to learn how to be a strong swimmer. So what this is saying is read the writing on the wall. Read the writing on the wall. Conscious preparation. Enjoy the wave. Also plan for the future. Now let's look at the upright meaning. Okay. The upright meaning is we can be assured that we're entering a time when you can ride the wave of abundance. The tide has turned. Okay. Some of you, it's the reversal meaning. Some of you, I think you're going to know if that reversal meaning that a rogue wave could be a fun ride. I think you're going to know that things may not last a long time if you've got a wave of abundance somewhere in your life, whether that's money. Maybe it's a new person you're dating and it's like, it's every day, it's overwhelming. You're like, dude, I haven't slept. Those things, the candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long. However, I think you're going to know if that reversal meaning is for you. Now, that upright meaning also says people and circumstances have come out of the ocean of potential and possibility to take shape in a wave of spectacular activity. You're on the right path. So what I said earlier to all of you about doing a little bit and a little bit, and it's almost like you look around and you're just like, wow, I got a lot done. That's what this is going to look like. Some of you are going to get a raise, maybe a promotion. And so it seems like a sudden wave, but you've been building that foundation for quite some time. Now, those of you that are kind of on a high somewhere in your life, whether that's financial or social or whatever, you're already noticing it's starting to come down a little bit. Just plan for that, right? Don't let your anxiety drive you crazy at night. Let's see what else is coming through. So many of you have been asking me about circles. Please be patient as I am in the early stages of reaching out to some local venues to see when we can get some circles going again in person in the local area. I'm really excited about this, so keep tuning in for developments with this, because I will be announcing and posting these events as they are developed, and also talking about them in lives and inviting you to the events, setting up Facebook events so you can see the dates. Other than that, everyone, don't be a stranger. If you feel like you could use a reading, don't hesitate to reach out. Let's say you visit my website, you're not sure which reading is right for you. Maybe send me a direct message and say, hey, maybe I'm torn between these options. I'm not sure what's best for me. I can help you figure out what's best for you. Other than that, everybody, have a blessed week. Please enjoy these days as we shift into late summer. Much peace to you, and namaste.